Hi guys, if you're getting something out of this content, feel free to like and subscribe. If you're interested in private coaching, go to www.coachcat.org. In this video, this is a difficult one to cover, but it is how to divorce a narcissist, or what to expect actually when you're divorcing a narcissist. And this is a general sort of idea. There could be things I'm not including. They may not all operate exactly this way, but this is pretty much what to expect. And it's not going to be fun, but here we go. Realize that they are going to try to drag out the proceedings as long as possible. You have to know that the divorce for them is very different than it is for you. This is a fun game. They love it. They are in it to win it. They look at it like a game. They enjoy actually torturing their spouses, the children. They are getting a lot of narcissistic supply from the divorce. Also, they use it to triangulate with their new source of supply and make themselves to be the victim. They're going to do a smear campaign, and where they make you out to be the one dragging things out, even though you're just like dying to get it over with. They're going to be lying and, using manipulation to try to convince everyone that you're the crazy one, right? They are going to, because they get a lot of supply from their new source who feels sorry for them, especially if they're the covert narcissists. They're going to lie in mediation and arbitration. They have no qualms about lying. They will agree to terms, and then they will renege. The way they look at it is their money is their money and your money is their money. They have no sense of partnership. They have no sense of fairness. These are not people that should ever be married, because they don't even get what marriage is, that it's a partnership. It's supposed to be two people in it together on the same team. That's not how these people look at it at all. They have no sense of fairness or equality, not at all. To them, it's a zero-sum game. They must win, and in order for them to win, you must lose. And they do not care who gets hurt in the process. The kids, you, or a fair partner, a fair partner's children, the families, they just don't care. These people are game players. This is a chess game. They love games. This is fun to them. So remember, your experience of this is very different than what they're experiencing. This is fun. They love this shit. And again, they don't care if the children get dragged through the mud. They have zero empathy for the children, the spouse, the affair partner's children or spouse, if there is one. They pretend to have empathy, but this is complete performance. They love to maintain their power and keep you off balance. They did this the entire time in the relationship with you, and now it gets amped up. They do not play fair. They play very dirty. They do not tally emotional losses. They have such a profound impairment of empathy. That's the main thing. That's the hallmark of this disorder. They do not have emotional empathy. They don't feel much, and they definitely don't feel what the children are feeling, because they're being tortured and discarded and treated like crap, or they're being dragged through the mud. They don't care about the spouse that typically they've cheated on, lied to, gaslighted. They just don't care. So again, they still have no empathy. The divorce isn't like all of a sudden they get empathy. They don't. They have a total disregard for whoever might get hurt in the process. They don't really experience emotional loss because they don't really bond with their spouse, the children, or stepchildren. Even if they've been with the stepchild for a decade and that person's like an amazing, lovely person, they do not bond, right? So there's no emotional loss for them because they're not bonding. Remember, they don't bond emotionally. The emotional damage, actually, I just think it doesn't occur to them. The focus is solely on them and what they want and what benefits them. They are truly disordered in this way. They don't care what happens to you. In fact, they want you to be destroyed. That's not how normal divorce is. When normal people, even if they're really upset with each other, they don't want the other person destroyed. They're completely detached. What keeps normal people on the straight and narrow during divorce is a sense of right and wrong, a sense of fairness, the impact on others, like the kids, the affair partner, the affair partner's kids, if there is one. None of this is taken into consideration if you're dealing with a narcissist. They have a scorched earth policy. They just burn it down black. That's how they are. By engaging in the court battle or prolonging the mediation and dragging their ex-partner through the system, they're getting a huge surge of control and a feeling of power and importance. This is feeding them a ton of narcissistic supply. It is the most delicious treat they've ever had. They just love it. Most people want to avoid the unpleasantness of divorce. Most people want to make it as painless as possible. They want to be fair, but this is not the case with the sociopath and the narcissist. They love it. They want you to capitulate because they know that you're a normal human with normal emotions, and they're going to continue to use emotional, psychological abuse and manipulation to grind down their ex-partner. And they love to use the element of surprise to, you're going along, you think everything's fine, you have no idea there's a problem. All of a sudden, crazy discard out of the blue. And what you find out later is that they've been planning. They've already put things out of their name. They've been planning this for maybe years. That's how, and they acted like nothing was wrong. That's how duplicitous some of these people are. They use obstruction. They try to inundate you with requests for paperwork. They put everything off to the last minute. They try as hard as they can to drag the timelines out. They love that when the divorce gets dragged out. They do not agree to fair terms. There's lots of motions, lots of delays. They won't provide paperwork that's requested or even subpoenaed. They refuse to negotiate or settle. They lie, they cheat, usually they lied, they cheated, they gaslighted, they abused their partner, and then they're going to continue to do so in the court system. Some people who cheat, who are garden variety cheaters, actually feel remorse and guilt, and they're going to try to be fair during divorce proceedings. But those people are not narcissists, most likely. They're just garden variety cheaters. They felt bad. I had a friend of mine, her husband cheated on her. She divorced him, but he felt so much remorse and shame and guilt about it that he was totally fair in the divorce. It went very smoothly. He was more than kind and fair, and that, he's not a narcissist. He just had an affair. Sometimes that happens. They will run up your legal bills on purpose because, again, they want to destroy you. That is their plan. They're going to paint you black. They're going to do a smear campaign. And they're going to be the victim. They're just such the victim. They don't understand why this is happening to them. That harpy they were with, or that, evil guy they were with, like they are going to play the victim to the affair partner, to their family. It's all going to be this bullshit, and it's frustrating. I know if you're on the other end of this, because you feel like you're in a glass house and you're screaming and you're like, what is happening here? Why can't people not see what is happening here? And that's because they're so manipulative. They've been planning it so long. You are traumatized, right? Because the shock, you're in shock. You're probably acting out of trying to break a trauma bond with the abuser, and you're in a crazy state, and you can't, you can't even wrap your head around a legal battle because you're just absolutely traumatized. But they've been planning it for years. They've already been securing their new source of supply. They've been having an affair for a long time. They have already, this is all their strategy. It's a chess game. It's the long con, especially if you're with the covert narcissist. You're in a long con. It can be a 10-year con. These people are con artists. They really are. Sometimes after the divorce is over, they will take you back to court over and over again once it's finalized. I had a client who was married to probably a psychopath, narcissistic psychopath and criminal, and they divorced, but he was very wealthy. So after the divorce, he was really fair and he was so nice during the divorce. They all went through. She was like stoked. She thought everything was going to be cool. He literally took her back to court 55 times. I'm not kidding you. This woman was devastated by this psychopath that she was with. So you're not dealing with somebody who's normal. A normal person wants a divorce over. It's painful. There's emotional losses. The kids are hurting. The affair partner's kids are hurting. They just want it over so everyone is okay. They want it to be fair. They don't want to be destroyed financially, obviously. But narcissists just don't look at it this way. This is a game to them. They love games. These are people that love, they're chess players. They love Scrabble. They love all these psycho games that they play. And for them, this is a psychopathic game that that they're playing, and all they care about is winning, and you are their opponent. And it doesn't matter if you were with them for a decade and you loved them and you treated them with kindness and respect and decency and did everything you could to make them happy. None of that matters. It doesn't matter that you gave and you gave and you gave. They just don't even acknowledge that, because again, they're very entitled. They think you're lucky to even be sharing the same airspace with them, right? And that's the same thing they think about the affair partner. That affair partner just doesn't know it yet, right? Because they're in the love bombing. They have no idea who they're dealing with, right? So the same things that happen to you are going to happen to that person. Unfortunately, if there is an affair partner, that's going to happen. And, feel sorry for them. I do. I feel really sorry for that person, because that person has no idea what they're in for. And you just have to be really careful. Like with these narcissists, you have to really get a good attorney. Make sure that you get an attorney that understands narcissistic abuse. Read Bill Eddy's book called Splitting, and it's about how to divorce a narcissist. Bill Eddy runs a high conflict institute, and he helps people to counsel them on how to divorce a narcissist. Keep copies of everything. Try to stay cool and avoid the traps. Try to take the high road. And definitely protect your kids. Do everything you can to protect your kids. And I realize that this is going to be a long battle. I mean, a lot of times these narcissists will take people through the court system for 5 years because they need to be right, and they're getting this wonderful surge of narcissistic supply. So the emotional experience, when you're divorcing one of these people, like, you're not having the same emotional experience they're having. You probably thought you loved them. You're going through heartbreak. You are shell-shocked. You probably have symptoms of complex PTSD. You're grieving. You're feeling all of these emotions. They don't feel those emotions. They don't have any, right? They're not in touch with their emotions at all, if they have any. So they're not feeling they're not grieving. And if you think back in the time you were with them, when important people died in their lives and their grandparents died, or when maybe, in my case, we were in a natural disaster, hundreds of people died, I was grieving, I was shell-shocked, it was awful. And, if you look back, you'll see that person didn't show any grief. They didn't have any grief. They didn't show any empathy for people dying, for children dying, and for their family members even that they should have cared about dying, or for a pet that dies. They just they don't have any emotion. These people are they're really like robots. So they just don't have these experiences, these normal emotional experiences that the rest of us humans have, right? So for them, it's just fun. It's just a fun game. So whatever you're going through, they're not having the same emotional experience. They didn't bond. They didn't bond with their own children. They didn't bond with the stepchildren, even though they may have spent a decade with that person who's extraordinary or wonderful kid. They just don't bond. So they don't bond. They don't have any empathy. They don't care who it hurts. It's a zero-sum game. They're in it to win it, and that's all they care about. So if you understand that, when you're going into the divorce proceedings, you can really do a lot to get a good attorney. I mean, I'm telling you a lot of stuff because I did it all the wrong way, because I was in such a horrible state of trauma. I didn't even know how to, I was working on trying to save my life, like emotionally, right? So I didn't do it the right way. I learned my lessons all the wrong way, the hard way. But these people, they're duplicitous and they're unscrupulous. They do not care about making things fair, about what's right. They don't have integrity, right? So you've got to get an attorney that understands this. And unfortunately, I feel like the legal system is pretty biased towards narcissists, and it's not very well set up to protect victims in this case. I know that there are some laws that are changing, and I know that I read that in the UK, you can actually it's a crime to emotionally and psychologically abuse a spouse. It's now become a crime, which thank God, because it is abuse, and you have been abused, and make no qualms about it. You were with an abuser, and now you're going to be further abused in the court system. So do what you can to protect yourself. Read Bill Eddy's book called Splitting. Thanks so much, and I feel so so much for you if you have to divorce a narcissist. I know how devastating it can be, and be strong. And there's also, I know a coach, actually, if you contact me, I know a coach that specializes in helping to divorce narcissists. So contact me if you're interested in that information. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.